sure I can see your face.
This beautiful face?
That's it, my friend. Anytime, Liz.
Can you just start by saying and spelling your name for me?
John Young, John-Young.
And tell me a little bit about your Boston Marathon experience yesterday.
Well, it was a pretty exhilarating day. Surreal is kind of the word I used to explain, to describe it. I started in the first wave with all the other mobility impaired athletes, and so I had a really great race. Crowds were amazing. The weather was gorgeous up until I passed the 25-mile mark. When a friend that had just passed me, she turned around and was running back towards me, and I kind of thought, wow, she finished already, and came back to kind of cheer me on. And she had this really, distraught look on her face, and I said, what happened? And she said, the marathon's over. And I said, what do you mean over? And she said, they closed it down. There was an explosion at the finish line. And so my immediate concern was my family. My wife and son were sitting in the grandstands. So I luckily had my cell phone with me, so I managed to retrieve a voicemail message with my wife frantically asking where I was. And so we kind of connected, and then we're apart for a while before I kind of encouraged her to get on the train and get home. And then I kind of found my way home after that.
So you're local, you live around the area?
Yep.
Can you just talk to me a little bit, if you're from Boston or you live in the Boston area, and kind of, this is the Boston Marathon, it's iconic. And
yeah, I've kind of only been into endurance racing for about the last 5 years. Started with sprint triathlons, and I got interested in the marathon as well. 3 years ago I volunteered doing security. Last year I was at mile 24 or 25 on Hereford Street watching the runners go by, and I kind of said to myself, I'm going to keep training and I'm going to be there next year. And here I was this year at the race doing the most amazing marathon in the entire world, a day when people are supposed to be celebrating, out having barbecues and cheering everybody on and just celebrating life. And unfortunately it turned for the worst.
So you didn't get to finish. Are you disappointed?
Not really, and it's not because it's just, I think part of the reason I ran, and I think others ran, like Julie Windsor, who's another short-statured runner, we kind of wanted to get out there to have people realize that you can do this with whatever body you have, and we saw thousands of people cheering us on all day long. And so in my mind, what I wanted to do happened, and so that can't be taken away no matter what went wrong. And now my concern is for the families of the victims and everyone else who's injured, and that's all I care about. When I went inside to collect my bag, they gave me a finisher's medal, and I won't wear it. And it's not out of disrespect for the marathon. I respect it greatly, but it's out of my respect for the victims. And maybe I'll run it again next year, or maybe I'll finish the course. Maybe I'll come down next weekend and run the rest of the course on my own. But it's I'm really, all my energy and thought is towards them right now.
What do you think about Boston's resilience? We're going to come back from this.
Oh, we'll be back even stronger. I think that the athletes will be back. There'll be more people. Obviously, they'll have more protection out, and it's not that they were lax. I think what they were doing was what they've been doing for years. I understand there were dogs and police out prior to the marathon checking things out. So I don't know what more they could have done. If they wanted to keep all the fans away, fine. But if you want us there, full of energy and everyone cheering, that's what it's got to be like, and we'll be back, absolutely.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're very
welcome.
welcome.
Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.